Hey, hey, what's up, you guys? Your girl G here. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're wondering why, this video sounds different, it's because look, your girl got a new mic. And so today we are going to be testing out in this review today for Love After Lockup. So you guys let me know down in the comments which audio you prefer. I want to get a little bit better audio quality in my videos. So I purchased me one of these. And so yeah, like I said, y'all just drop it in the comments and let me know how it sounds on y'all's end. Does this sound better in the videos? But like I said, you guys, we were talking about Love After Lockup. We had another great video or another great episode. When I tell you I almost cried at the end of this episode, Arthur literally melted my ice cold heart. I got an ice box where my heart used to be. Okay, that's for the millennials. Okay, you know what that is. But yeah, Arthur, y'all had me ready to cry at the end of this episode. But yeah, you guys, if you're new to my channel, appreciate you for tuning in. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Everybody else, like the video, okay? It is free 99. It ain't gonna touch your bank account. It ain't gonna hit your Cashapp, okay? You know when you hit that ding, Cashapp $7.99. You be like, who is this? $7.99? What? It's free. So hit the button, okay, you guys? But all right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay. So let's start with the easiest, knock out the little yang. And to me, that was not Justine, Justin and Christine. Okay. So I already told y'all last review, for those of you who tuned in, I don't trust Justin. I don't trust him at all. His name is Justin, right? I think it's Justin Joe. It is Justin. I'm having a little brain lapse right now. But yeah, nonetheless, McNerdy, he, got his woman, and now, as per usual, when most people get out, they want to start thinking about the realistics, the logistics, the everyday of what's happening in a relationship. I don't know if y'all remember last season. I think his name was Rob or something like that, and then he wanted to tell the girl to work, and he had a pension or whatever. So she's like, oh, I'll have my own business. He's like, well, I can't afford it. And now that she getting ready to come out, now he want to start running and acting different because he want her to break it off because he don't got the money that he said he did. And I feel like that's what's happened with him. A lot of times, dude, y'all over promise and under deliver. And half the time it be some stuff that didn't nobody even ask you for. And so that's what you explain it to him, because he's like, I spend a lot of money on this, lawyers, then we got to get the lawyer to help back with your kid in Virginia. It's a lot. And so she's like, oh, bow down, thank you, massa, thank you, and she was like, just basically throw it in my face. And in that moment, I don't think he was doing it as a throw it in your face, but she's going to feel that way because she not really, working. And Christine, you do it. I feel duplicitous in this, like double-sided, because Justin is doing what he told you, Christine. He is paying for the lawyers, like he is, taking care of the household, all of these things. But if you keep adding on top of that with now it was already the lawyer to help with your PO. Now it's the lawyer to help with your son back in Virginia. And, it's unrealistic to think that you working, if you want these things, I don't think it's unfair for him to be like, hey, you working would help because you're adding more to the plate. So Christine, that's all I'm going to say. But I think, as what this episode really presented is something I've always been saying, is a lot of people really underestimate that mental shift, that, turning off of the brain, because as Arthur put it, like, you are institutionalized. You're waking up seeing the same four walls every day. That's why they say where they have those studies of inmates who've been in solitary confinement, that their mental capacity and their mental health goes hella down. So Christine, you could tell, is, as she said in her confessional, like, they don't explain to you, all the decisions you're going to have to make when you come out. Like, it's an overload. It's overwhelming for a lot of them. And now here it is. She's going to have to start thinking about working. And obviously she's a convict, so getting a job. And then not only any job, girl, you robbed the bank. So ain't nobody gonna want to trust you around their money, even if it's just a gas station, you know. They ain't gonna think you gonna rob the gas station, the 7-Eleven, if you can walk and you know, Banks America and rob them, you know, 7-Eleven ain't gonna want to hire you, Miss Ma'am. So Justin, I don't think he thought those logistics through. And you keep telling Christine, oh, I got it. We'll work through it. And it's like, okay, we'll see about that. But moving on. Um, Letitia and Keith. First off, Miss Letitia, that pink lipstick, I'm gonna need you to retire that. Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm gonna need you to throw that hole in the trash. I know I'm not the only one who saw her lipstick in this scene. It was just kind of like, it reminds you of like Miss Trunchbull a little bit. It was all outside the lines and everything. But y'all, Letitia, she basically was sold a dream. Whatever public defender, i.e., you know, self-taught lawyer, crackerjack box lawyer that they gave $1,000 to, basically went down the drain. Um, he was a man, I guess, while he, you know, was in prison, got himself off. And so now he's taking it as like, well, if I got myself off, probably on some technicality stuff, because the way he's explaining to people, like, yeah, you getting off these people, but it seems like you're finding cases where people are getting off on technicalities that you just happen to find because you reread the documents, you know, not because you're actually lawyering, you know, them out of it. Um, but nonetheless, she calls Keith and lets him know, hey, babe, basically, waste of time. That money you spent, my lawyer told us, like, be careful with him because, you know, he ain't licensed, you know, and it's not really, you just set your expectations to that. And so at this point, you know, he's looking like he don't really qualify for immediate release. And so now she's feeling like, what the F? You know, first off, that's lost money. Secondly, we done told the family. I would have told, you know, especially her daughter. You know, I wouldn't have told that to anybody. And she's just talking him, you know, with it. He's trying to act all cool. But deep down, she knows he's pissed off because it went from I could have been released any other day now to counting down to 8 months. Like, that's a big difference. So she goes home. I think, is that her sister or no, the aunt or something like that? Troy's aunt, not Troy, Keith. Watching the kids, she goes upstairs and she basically fills her in on what happened with the lawyer situation, and she's feeling like, oh my god, it's just too much. You know, Lord, fix it, Jesus. I could use a break. Well, instead of getting a break, and you know, I felt her pain because she was like, it's just too much hitting me at one time. And boy, I tell you, and being an adult, you realize it is everything hitting you simultaneously at the same damn time. Okay, but she's like, well, you know, I know you're already having a bad day. You know, honey, I know things are rough right now, but that house, you know, this house, your house, the one that y'all gonna be staying in, yeah, it's not yours no more. Yep. They told us, they gave us a pink slip and let us know we got 2 months. Apparently, you know, the lease that you signed, they wasn't paying it. So from what I took from it, y'all drop down in the comments and let me know. From what I took from that conversation, she was saying that the people basically leased this house out to her knowing that the banks was already foreclosing on it, I guess for previous you know, lack of payment. So y'all took this woman's money, put her in there, but knowing that this money wasn't even gonna be enough to cover what y'all had to pay to the banks anyways. But if that's the case, they already, you know, decided it was foreclosed on and she didn't know about it, then that means some people took that money and pocketed it if they didn't pay it either. So either way, I'd be pissed off. But now here it is, she's dealing with a whole lot of mess at one time, and she's stalling, having to tell that youngest one, because once she tell that youngest one, that be all crying and stuff, like, that's why I get so heated when I watch this show, and I just think about the women who constantly be throwing these kids, be like, oh, that's daddy. And it's like, I get it. You know, it's cool if a man wants to come in and help raise your child. Okay, Russell Wilson. Okay. That's not a problem. But to put a man in a child's life that hasn't necessarily had action, follow through, it is a little bit of hustling backwards to me, and it's not conducive. It's unrealistic because yeah, he talk on all that sweet talk behind jail, but when he get into the real world, like if y'all don't make it, now it's the child that's invested. And Latisha then got this girl hopes and dreams tied up in this man. I know that oldest one happy. And that's another thing too, because I don't like, because what I can tell Leticia is doing is she's leaning into the youngest one being so excited and completely ignoring the oldest one. And she's kind of using it as her buffer to she's using that youngest daughter as a buffer in regards to like convincing herself that this is okay. Oh, my kids are so excited. No, one of them is excited. You have to be honest in that regard. And so yeah, we just got to see how that plays out. He's not getting out tomorrow. Sorry. Moving on. Who do I want to get into first? Um, let's go ahead and do. I did Justine. Justine. Why do I keep calling her Justine? Christine, Justin, Leticia, Keith. I feel like there's another white couple that was on there to talk about. So, is it Arthur, Hope, and Shante and True? Oh, I know who else it was. Zuri, y'all. So Zuri, I feel Zuri, but also I was annoyed with Zuri because just for me, I'm just one of those people who shoots for what's the solution? How do we get to the solution? I can't do all the passive aggressiveness. Passive aggressive, like I tell you, like it is a trigger for me because it's like let's just get to the point, okay? And Zuri, she was in the bathroom going ham. And all Troy's thinking about is like, man, I just want to get to my daughter. He literally hasn't seen her since she was 7, 8 months years old. The mama is a hoot, and she is good comedic relief. She in there just talking about, man, y'all gonna have to give me some gummies. Like I can't take this no more. She was just all types of side note commentary. But when I tell you Zuri's in there just then the hair, ponytail, she flipping it all over and go. I was just like, oh, I get it. I see it. Zuri is one of the girls who a lot of people would think are very confident and secure. Um, Also, just off societal standards of her being light skinned, people would assume that she has confidence, but I can tell that she doesn't. Ain't no one with confidence wearing that ponytail piece. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I know y'all see that ponytail, that old raccoon tail that she keep putting in her head. Y'all, and you can see the way she smoothed it down. And she was going through the whole process. Obviously, in her mind, if I'm gonna meet the baby mama, I'm gonna look good while I meet the baby mama because she already disrespectful, okay? Already disrespectful, okay? So she want to look good, but in that, I just saw Zuri in that moment of her beating the dog out of her face with that pillow and foundation, and like I said, she keeps the same hairstyle like that. Somebody who keeps that same hairstyle in that way too. Yeah, I got my finger on it, but nonetheless, she's going back and forth with Troy. The mama's like, "Girl, why y'all arguing? Like, he want to go see his daughter." And Zuri's like, I don't want it to be painted as like, oh, I'm keeping it from his daughter, and I don't think that's what it is. But you're not making the situation any easier too. I think she already has in the back of her head what the tarot card reader said. Girl, this is a mess, and it's not, it's giving baby mama and Troy is going to get back together. And I think Zuri subconsciously has that in the back of her head, is taking that out on him a little bit. Also, for the fact that she was like, oh, yeah, when you talked to that this morning, that should have been it. She's like, I feel like I'm always the one compromising. And first of all, Zuri, okay, when people start want to talk about all the stress that they're in, you gotta start asking yourself, did I put myself in a situation? What am I doing in regards to my own suffering? And Zuri, you didn't have to deal with Troy's mama, but you kept pushing, so now that's why you're in the situation that you're in. But I do think she probably maybe overheard the baby mama saying some stuff, or also as well too, Zuri, a lot of what Troy is doing right now that seems so considerate of his baby mama is because he wants to see his daughter. I can tell that Troy um avoids confrontation. We'll just put it that way. And so Zuri sees it as like, you don't ever check your baby mama. And for him, it's just like, I just want to keep the peace. Like, let me just keep the peace. That's all I want to do. And do I think the baby mama want Troy back? Yes. Can't trust her. Troy, I think in his mind has all intensive purpose and intention of not going back to the baby mama. But I think being out, he's only been out for 4 days. I think in the meantime of him spending time with his daughter, probably going up there to see her, I think it can be a slippery slope. We'll just put it that way. So Zuri basically kicked him out. And so Troy just starts walking. They missed the whole damn train because he was out, trying to find himself. I wasn't mad at you take a walk to catch your breath, do a deep breather, a few breathing exercises, to catch your mental, get together. But to be walking for 2 and 3 hours, dang, Troy. So they missed it. So she's like, you ain't gonna put that on me. Like, ain't nobody finna blame me. They ended up driving to the train station just to see if he went ahead there. And so the mama, Karen, ends up calling the baby mama. And so she's like, yeah, where he at? And she was like, when she hangs up, Karen goes, oh, she's just kind of saying that, he just feels overwhelmed and, it's just a lot for him. And immediately Zuri's like, well, how does that bitch know? Wait a minute. How she know how he feel, And I could imagine that kind of being the first thought process. Like, she's speaking as if this is something he's told her. So if he's told her these things, it's like, who would have asked that for some money, because we not gonna, it's, yeah, you want to have a good co-parenting relationship, and obviously you still want to care about the mental health of your baby father if y'all have a good relationship like that. But it can't be that way if it's clear your baby mama trying to get back with you. That's the difference. And so Zuri at this point is like, see, y'all not finna paint me as crazy. I don't think you're crazy, Zuri. I just think you're not handling the situation right. That's just my opinion. um it could be handled a lot better. That's all I'm gonna say. But you allowed yourself to get in this situation. The tarot card reader lady told you, and you still went along with it. Um, and Yana too. Yana, I can already tell what type of she is, because ain't no reason why Miss Karen is in Zuri's house, sitting on her couch, and you calling Karen and basically trying to say, stuff about what's going on with Zuri. All of a sudden, Karen's yelling to the producers, "Oh, I need to go talk to her." And they were like, "Oh yeah." Now all of a sudden, she got some boy up in here. Allegedly some man. She has some man up in here, and I'm like, here she go. This is getting started already, and I think that's why Zuri's getting pissed off, because she knows deep down about the baby mama's intentions, and she's waiting for Troy to put just like an X check mark, and she's conflating him trying to be there and keep the peace with his baby mama with, why don't you check that bitch, yeah, this ain't gonna work. It ain't. But moving on. um Real quick, Arthur and Hope. I felt so bad for Arthur, y'all. Arthur had my heart. And when he was talking to Hope and just speaking on there's just a lot of things that in jail that just kind of struggles, that's messing with my mind. I immediately thought he witnessed it. It either happened to him. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It either was done to him, or he either witnessed somebody, get assaulted or offed, and that's what it was. He's like, I literally watched somebody's spirit leave their body, and he's like, I think about that shit every night, and I could not imagine. He's like, somebody reaching out for help to you. So he's dealing with PTSD. I definitely feel like it's PTSD, probably in combination with either like bipolar or schizophrenia, because when he was speaking in the aspect of like, oh, everybody looks like demons except a few people, that's of some type of hallucination. And so I really felt so bad for him, and he couldn't even hug Hope. Like, he just was stuck. And so they called his mama, and she's just kind of talking him through it. And the way he was just like, I love you, mama. Like, it was just such like a little boy cry for help that just really like hurt my heart. Um and he couldn't even hug Hope. Like, and every time he said just like I love you, he was staring into the middle of space. Like, that would scare me. Like, just watching somebody just stare into the middle of space and then they just be like, I love you. Out of nowhere, I feel like one of us is not gonna make it when somebody do some shit like that. That's I don't play with the spirits, and I just but also he just seems so tortured. And when he, talked to his own about like, I thought about it every day when you told me to come home and just do my laundry and I didn't. I thought about that every day. It's given he wasn't the bad kid. He just hung out with the bad kids and this time got in trouble with them. That's what, because Arthur's nature just does not give, initiating violence. And so I just really felt like he was with the wrong friends at the wrong time. But yeah, Arthur and Hope do not need to be together. He needs to go home and seek intensive therapy. But last but not least, you guys, Shante and False. Everybody's calling True False. Lie detector. Okay, so y'all know True got told that Shante was pregnant with twins. Okay, and so he's like, I'm gonna go down there and talk to her. We're gonna figure something out. He, trying to show that he can cook and everything, because remember their plan was to start a restaurant together. And so, he goes to the grocery store, he's picking up stuff and asking questions. He's like, I don't even know how to do this. Now, he been in there 13 years, y'all. So he literally ain't seen nothing since iPhone, 6. So he see himself check out for the first time. But producers start asking like, oh, what's the difference now? I just really love Shante. And when she called me to let me know that she was pregnant and she said she ain't want nothing to do with it, that really hurted. And when he said that really hurted, I was just like, hood nigga through and through. There's like a certain way that hood dudes speak, and True speaking to a T. So he pop up on her front door on her porch, and he's like, "Let me in." She's like, "I don't know if I want to, or whatever." He's like, "Man, girl, let me in." And you could tell True is so used to like women acquiescing in him. They be mad for a little bit, he come do his little jokey joke, and Shantae let him in, and she just was kind of like looking at him like, "What you doing here?" And he's like, "I came here to cook for you." And she was like, I'm not cooking with you, but you can cook. And so when he in the kitchen, they cooking and they talking to try to catch up. And basically she asked him like, what you doing here? And he was like, I just want to just check in on you and just kind of let you know, like, I'm really sorry for what I did. I should have, I'm going to act better. I'm going to be there for you. And she was like, yeah, talk is cheap, because you already showed me that you'll walk out, like you'll abandon me, because that's what he literally did. How you gonna literally be in my guts the night before and then wake up and you not even anywhere in the house? Okay. So he definitely, True is the I'll just make her laugh until she let me back in, basically. Because us girls, unfortunately, it just gets to man, like, don't touch me. Like, here be trying to live, man, you ain't mad at me. Yes, I am. Like, ooh, what is it? Y'all know what the word is? Ooh, I can't stand you. No, I'm mad. Girl, you ain't mad at me. You know you ain't mad. ooh, I can't stand you. Like, y'all know how it goes. It's so true. When he sat down and they was eating that omelet, she was just looking at True like, don't think this is, good enough. And I can see it in Shante where, like she said, I got my heart in my head and I'm trying not to listen to neither. And I can just see Shante in everything she's wanting to give this man the opportunity to prove her wrong and what people, were saying about him, nonetheless, how he was acting. But I'm just like, Shantae, this ain't no twins. I want you to think this through. Twins. In this economy, twins. And you really think True gonna be there for you after this man literally up and left you? He already showed you who he is, girl. Believe him. And she's sitting there talking about, oh, I'm just waiting for him to show me respect because at the end of the day, like if you ain't got respect, you all that other stuff won't come. So it's like if you think that's how this is gonna go, of like waiting for him to show you respect or respect you, he ain't gonna respect you if you take him back. Unfortunately, because that man know he did you dirty, and now he's sitting here tell you all types of lies, fairy tales, and fallacies on some BS, talking about, oh, grass wasn't green on the other side, and I realized I just want to be with you. Because Shantae started asking questions. So were you talking to other girls when we were together? I said, don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. Girls love doing that. And so he was like, yeah, I was talking to other women. So she's like, what that mean, now? And you see, True ain't really answer the question. All he said was, man, I just, those women, I realized I didn't want them. I just want you. Okay, you say you just want me, but okay, what that mean with these other women? Because that you was just talking to them before you got here. So did you already cut things off with them? And I guarantee not. Um, so yeah, Shantae, she's doing this thing of I like spending time with you, and you could tell he's trying to weasel his way back. And now she's talking about, you can sleep on the couch, but you ain't gonna sleep in the room. And I'm just like, Shantae, I see you try to keep him at arm's length, but yet at the same time you want to be in his presence. And girl, I'm telling you, don't do it. Don't do it, Shantae. We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you, Shantae. Don't let false come up in here and mess your life up, all right? Because he is giving all types of demon Z, okay, and just a headache, all right? And he really is only trying to convince you to keep the baby so he can have you around, because at the end of the episode, he's talking about, oh yeah, when I'm with Shantae, like I'm just better, she's somebody that I know I need in my life. I.e., I know I got me one that's down. I know I got me one who really does want to see me do good and invest in me. And he knows they talked about the restaurant. So that's something that he's gonna want obviously her help with. So this isn't a situation of, oh, I want to be with her. It's just, I know, especially when she was sitting there asking that question in the kitchen, like, oh, everybody was saying, like, you were using me, like, is that what you come back to use me? I said, first of all, ain't nobody gonna say in front of your face, oh yeah, I was using you. But he's like, I wasn't using you, like, I wasn't asking you for no money. And uh, that's where I'm like, see, True, that's the thing. You niggas don't always just use women for money. Y'all use them for everything else. Y'all use them to what shot the air canero, made mattress and mule. It ain't just about the money. And you feel like and I don't want her to feel like just because he's not asking you for money, you not giving him none, don't mean he ain't come over here to use you. Okay, Miss Shantae? I'm telling you, before before they start saying all types of no abortion, you better walk up in that office. Heaven, baby. Okay. You what's it what Keisha gonna say? My angel. No, that was Anita Baker, okay? Yeah, you guys, that was Love After Lockup. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know what you feel about the episode. Do you guys think that Hope should let Arthur go so he can work on his issues? Y'all feel like Shantae is gonna fall victim to True and let him back in and keep the baby? And what do you guys think about Latisha and her telling her daughter kind of like making her responsible in the aspect of like calling that man daddy. What y'all think about that? And Zuri, do y'all feel like Zuri was being unfair, or Zuri was kind of being gaslit? And would y'all feel like Zuri was cooperating? But like I said, y'all drop it in the comments. Let me know. I would catch you guys later.
Y'all, I didn't realize I completely forgot one more couple, and that is Bianca and Daniel. Basically, y'all, Bianca is still in her delusional phase. She is in where did she move to? Was it Arizona, all the way from Florida? And she's up there by herself. It's hot as hell outside. And she's feeling, a little bit abandoned until he, gets released. He has literally one day left till he gets out, and literally all they keep asking each other is like, well, how are you gonna feel? Like, are you gonna be nervous? You can tell both of them have so much anxiety about what it's gonna be like when he gets out, obviously. So she is actually meeting his parents, and she's already feeling some type of way because of what the dad said. So she goes to meet the parents, and she is already ordering a drink. This is where like her age is showing and her immaturity, because all she keeps referring to is, I don't have a drinking problem, like I'm not the one with a drinking problem. And it's like, yes, we get you're not the one with the drinking problem, but you're with, in a relationship with somebody who does. So that means you, as somebody who's in a relationship with him, not to like completely change yourself, but like you're gonna be somewhat respectful of that. It seems like she's really like not even seriously realizing how much she, has an effect on him. You are the person he's in a relationship with. But she sits down with the mom and the dad, and he immediately addresses the comment that he made. And she was like, oh, good. Like, she was like, I was just so confused for you to sit there and be like, how's your mental health or whatever. He was like, oh, I was just kidding. I was just really trying to break the ice. And in the back of my head, I'm like, yeah, you kidding, but a part of you is feeling like it's necessary to ask, because girl, not only is an alcoholic, he been in and out of jail. The mom is explaining it's like it's a slippery slope. Like, yeah, you could be out with your girls, but you come home drunk or you got an extra bottle. Like, those are things that are gonna tempt him, and she's not thinking about it. And all she's thinking, like, I appreciate her mom saying something, but like I feel like like him being alcoholic, like I know, like I know what's gonna trigger him. And I'm like, bitch, no, you don't know what his triggers are. Like, and she's you can just tell that money has given her a false sense of, I got it, I know everything, one. And two, she's so hard-headed, like literally so hard-headed. And the mom basically ended up breaking down because, come to find out, she already lost a son to overdose to that fentanyl. Okay, that fentanyl was and is taking a lot of people out. And so the mom is, and she's with an alcoholic right now. He only 6 months sober. And then her ex-husband, he was like, so she's like, I know her, like she looks just like me, where you feel like she's like, I see it in her, just like me. And it's a lot of naivety. You think like, oh, love's gonna pull us through it, we're gonna be okay. And no, love is not it. No, sorry, Bianca. But we'll see how it plays out for her. She really gonna learn her lesson. But that's it, you guys.